So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Simon, and I'm from the band Raptors.
I'm asking some questions say about their upcoming album, Living Without Death's Permission. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
It's been humbling, man. It's been absolutely awesome. Really beyond grateful for such an awesome response. It's been it's been a turbulent old time. So by the time the announcement came, we were like, thank God we can just get here. But like for everyone to kind of seemingly open it like their arms in the same fashion as us, just being like, have this. And everyone, it's been received really well. So
hell yeah. I did enjoy listening to the record. You guys got some earworms on there.
Oh yeah.
Some catchy shit, man.
That's mission accomplished.
Hell yeah.
Definitely what we wanted to be in there all the time.
Perfect. Yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, so with regards to the title, that came it's a term of phrase that I've coined from basically I had a near fatal accident not so long ago where I nearly died. Well, I got told I should be dead. Which never a nice thing to hear. However, it did change my entire outlook on everything. So really, from being told I shouldn't be alive, I've kind of felt like I'm on borrowed time, and everything from here is kind of like a complete bonus. And so it, like the film Final Destination, that's the kind of like inspiration for it, where I feel like if death was a person, I'd be living without their permission now. So the album essentially is just about my outlook on life since the accident, really.
Wow.
All right.
I'm very happy to hear that you made it through, because God, dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, well, it's, you know what, it's nothing to be sorry about. Like I'm here and fucking I feel all like 100 times better for it. It's kind of nothing can be taken for granted, and life itself can just be taken at any point. It literally on the next corner could be the end. So it has kind of opened my eyes to me it's a better way of living, and it just involves not holding back, not biting my tongue, and it kind of puts a lot of things into perspective, and things that I used to get hung up on, and certain things that I'd probably tiptoe around. There's just no time for it now. So it's from a potentially very negative thing, it's spawned very much a positive outlook on life.
That's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And the cover art, is there any meaning behind that?
So with the cover art, it really was, we wanted the album to just be as raw and as honest and genuine and us as possible. So in a nutshell, the album artwork is, it's a 30-foot wall that we have gone and painted. So that X is just something that we got on some very illegal scaffolding that we scaled and drew our logo on. And we'd gone through like, I'm an artist, and I had a lot of ideas, and we were driving ourselves absolutely crazy during lockdown, and for many months before. And at the end of the day, when we were convoluting everything and everything was getting so complex, and we had all these ideas and graphics, and we were like, we just need to strip this entirely back, because at the end of the day, it's a debut album. every single song is so personal. We just wanted something on that album cover that is entirely us. So it's literally our studio, and it is our logo, and the ghostly figures in front of it is just us. It's literally that simple. So it's not nothing complex at all. It's just raw as anything, and simply us.
I
That's
like that.
perfect.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been a weird one. It's been a really odd ride, because I mean, we started in 2018, and since then we have that studio that the X is on the album cover. We practically lived in that building. We it's like an old converted mill. It's made into multiple practice studios and a live room, and we hire the thing out on a monthly basis, so we can stay in there 24/7. We've got key access, and we practically lived in this, I don't think the owners will mind me saying, pretty dank like crumbling place, but it's our home.
Yeah.
And so when we could, before lockdown and everything, we lived there, and for the first 2 years of our career, that's where we lived. That's where all the songs came from. We did it at volume, and we were a jam band. We've always considered ourselves as a live band first and foremost, and that came from even our rehearsals. We play it like a gig, and including writing as well. It would always be at volume, throwing ideas at each other. And when we had that, so we had a handful of ideas for the album, and then that got taken away completely. So we had to adapt pretty quickly, but luckily in this is the Raptor pad where we live now.
Okay.
So the majority of the band live here, so we're very lucky in that respect that one guitarist, Harley, our drummer Matt, and myself live here. So we were able to change our dynamic completely and have to dial it back a little bit more in terms of volume. But we wrote a lot of the ideas here, just in our living room, and while we were cooped up in the cage that was the house for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And we wrote a handful of songs, or the most part of songs. We set up a little studio in the living room and sent all of our ideas and demos all across to the other guys. And basically we had to learn pretty quickly how to capture the same feeling that we would in a room, but from file sharing. Which it was an alien kind of feeling, but we do it over Zoom calls and stuff as well, so it kind of almost felt like we were in the same room. But we learned to get over the frustrations of it being a little bit of a slower process, and sending something by email and someone tweaking it, sending it back, and us going, no, that's shit, let's send it back. Never that brutal really, but it'd be like the minuscule things. So the whole process really took on a whole microscopic kind of element. We had the time and stuff that would have probably in the volume of the room may have got overlooked, or we wouldn't have gone into quite as precise detail. So in the long run, it actually was something quite beneficial, and I think the album came out more varied because of it, because we were taking little details and kind of running with those ideas a little bit more than perhaps we would have had we all been in a room together.
Sure.
But from that, and then about a month or so before we were in the studio, everything, the restrictions were dropped. So we
That's
took
nice.
everything that we had, took it back to the room, to our second home, and then smashed it out at volume. And yeah, it kind of fell together a little bit at that point.
Well, I'm glad you guys were
Perfect.
able to like adjust so well to like, you know, the new process that you guys kind of had to develop.
It's, you know what, when it's a matter of necessity, like there was no second thought. It was like we had our agenda, we had our kind of timeline planned. We like to do things as far in advance, and we kind of want to paint a roadmap and get things as far in stone as we can. Obviously, when something is a massive curveball, like not being allowed in a room together, you have to make tweaks to that. But I think because we had that end goal of like, we're going to write an album, we'd have written it whether we were in the room or not. And yeah, from that detail of being taken away from each other, there was never a oh shit kind of moment. It was no, we need to adapt. And luckily technology is a thing and it's beautiful. So we quickly had to just learn. Myself, I'm a complete technophobe, so it was a little bit of more of a learn for me. But the other guys, they're pretty savvy with everything, so it was a quick learning process.
That's good.
Perfect. So I want you to tell us your favorite lyric off this album and the meaning behind it.
Oh, dang. That is a tricky one. So I'm gonna shamelessly plug this because this is fresh. If you asked me on a different day, I'd probably say a different thing, because again, with lockdown being a thing, I got to go over everything with the finest tooth comb. I drove myself insane. I was bouncing off these walls because it was I often write a song and scrap it and write again, because I feel that is how I get the best out of myself anyway. So whatever my first idea is, I usually scrap it. But this time I did that about 7 or 8 times on each song.
Oh god.
So it was
Whoa.
Oh wow.
So I have to love everything before it goes on.
How do you know when to stop?
I don't. I run out of time. Sometimes it's there, but no. It's I think when the feel is definitely a feeling. It's a feeling when you know it's there. But if there's any slight element of doubt, then I rip the plaster off and get rid.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of that, and because of the element of detail in this, I've got so many things that I just love. So on a different day, I'd probably say something different. But this single's coming out on Friday, so I'll go for the song that's most fresh in my head, and it's the song "The Frail," and the lyric is "The whole world's a cage, born of heartache and outrage, and the murder will feast off the hands holding the least."
Ooh.
That's good, Eric.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
So that was in a political time, in a political climate where I was kind of at my wit's end, and seeing the murder feasting off the hands holding the least, kind of was me kind of done with certain political parties. I probably won't go into too much detail in there.
Fair enough.
That's
all right. So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Yeah, we wrote the songs. Basically, we wrote half of the album separately. So it was in two different stages. So initially we had like a shorter album kind of a little bit more planned in terms of, oh, this is going to go here and this is going to go there. But as the way of the world was, and things being as chaotic as they were, it kind of felt right to throw that plan to the wind. And so we wrote there's actually a lot more songs than actually are on the album. There was a lot more material. So we actually had to go through a process of deleting down for the album. So the kind of theme of it kind of ran away a little bit. So we had to get it down to the album tracks, and then we rearranged it quite a lot. And we kind of wanted a journey on there. So it took a long time of kind of placing the songs to get the right ride that we wanted. But it got to a point where it's kind of impossible to do pre-hand, just because everything was kind of changing so much. We got signed halfway through the process. So it kind of threw everything out the window. But all for the greater good.
Of course.
Sure. I have a double question here for you. One, how many songs did you have to cut off the album? And two, will they ever see the light of day?
Ooh, I can't officially say, unfortunately.
Boo! Boo!
And what I will say, because I will give an answer because I like the question. What I will say is the songs that we cut weren't because of, it wasn't a quality issue, it was a meaning issue. So the songs that are kept on were very, very specific, because each song kind of takes on a different aspect of the outlook that I have on life since the accident, whereas the others, which I think I can say they will see the light of day. I think I'm allowed to say.
You're not leaking anything besides they might come out at some point.
Exactly. You're not telling us names, dates. You're not saying anything. It's good.
Not yet. I'll get loose-lipped eventually, but no spoilers. No spoilers. It was more of the story arc of it. The reason they didn't come, because weirdly enough, two of the songs are like two of our favorites, to some, like, I would say the majority of the band. We all have very, very heated favorites, and we had it was a painful kind of process narrowing things down, but we had to think of the album as a whole, and there was a few where like two members were like, this is my favorite song, but we had to kind of leave it be. But they'd have maybe taken the album in a kind of a different direction. So they might be they might have their use in a form at some point, but can't be too specific.
I want to keep prodding so bad, but I don't want to get you in trouble.
I'm the worst as well, because I just love to talk and I love to tell. So I'm definitely the worst person for this, but I worst person with secrets, man.
Good.
Don't prod too much. I'll just get in trouble.
It's okay. We'll leave it. We'll leave it for now.
Okay. Go.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they play it in their car with friends, start with headphones on? Should they blast at a party? What do you personally recommend?
I always love the car like test. If you can, if it's a really good album, then that'll be the true test of, is it a driving album? So if anyone's driving, if anyone's got a car, or if it's their parents' car or partner's car, that would be a huge recommendation. Loud is definitely the best form,
for sure.
whether it's in headphones or whether it at a party. But yeah, I think if I could recommend it, I would love to hear someone's first reaction from having it on a playlist in a car.
Nice.
Oh, for sure.
And in the correct order.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Rock identity crisis.
Fuck yeah.
That's perfect.
That was nice
I
and
love
quick.
that. Wow. Okay. So is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to invoke in your listeners?
Every single one. It's so hard to put into one, because the album really is, it almost serves as a journal extract from the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as the pandemic, on a personal level, we have gone through some things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's and it has really, it's been a spectrum. Like I hate to say it because it just sounds cliche as hell, but like we've hit rock bottom and we felt some like incredible highs, but like we wanted it to be as human as possible, the album. So there's some stuff that I find uncomfortable. There's a song on there that I haven't really listened back to. I was so sort of uncomfortable writing it, but it was what I was going through at the time. So and what my family were going through. So I didn't feel like I could possibly not put it in there.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to bare our souls. So yeah, there's some major like down, as I'd like to say that we're pretty people of a sunny disposition, and we like to party with the best of them. But like and for a lot of it is that feeling, and it is as high as you can possibly get. But there's definitely some crashing lows, and we touch on a lot of things in between. So I couldn't do it justice by saying any one emotion that I'd like anyone to feel.
That makes sense. Totally.
That's valid.
Yeah. So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this album?
Ooh, favorite memory. I mean, that's a really good question. There was just so much. I mean, there was a particularly obscure one. The second half of the album, when getting signed for one, that happened during the process of writing. So that is life alteringly good. Yeah. So that was like a huge moment for us, which changed our perspective completely. But then going into that after getting signed, and then a month later going into the studio to actually record the second half of the album, and we started it on my birthday. So that was like a really cool feeling. It was just kind of like we'd just come out of lockdown. Everything was like crazy. We got signed, and then got to go see our favorite dude in the world, Oz Cracks, our producer, and be reunited. We hadn't seen I hadn't seen my family, I hadn't seen anybody, but getting to see one of our best friends on my birthday, starting to polish up this album, that as a whole was an incredible feeling. That's awesome. I don't remember a lot of that after that, because I'm pretty sure I got pretty drunk. But I remember I was wearing a cowboy hat for most of it, and I don't know where it came from or where it's gone.
Nice.
Wow. I hope you find it.
Making memories, losing memories. That's how we roll.
Yep.
Yeah. My God. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Oh, a snack of choice.
Snack of choice.
It has become, I mean, in the UK, it's now Greg's, because that's like the cheapest place to go. Because usually, it depends on. Sorry, I'm not being a very decisive mode today, but in the UK, like all of the service stations, they're like we've got like a league table of the best ones, and for the most part they're just overpriced and it's like dog shit.
Yeah.
But I do like that Greg's is kind of slowly taken over, because that would probably be maybe a Greg's vegan sausage roll would probably be a good go-to.
Okay,
perfect.
Sounds good. Yeah. So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
We'd be Texan barbecue, I think.
Oh,
yeah. I get that vibe.
We give a barbecue Texan vibe. I like that.
Yeah.
We're definitely. I would say as a band, like we're all massive foodies. So
we like
I think
food here.
We do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's my people. Right. I knew I liked you guys straight away. Like if we weren't a band, we probably would be starting a bar and grill and like a cocktail shack somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I would say barbecue, but like nothing in particular. As a dish, it would have to have a little bit of everything in there.
You kind of give me the vibe that like you could like have your own show on Food Network. Like you're a foodie and like you just kind of like you give me that vibe where like you could walk into a place and tell them either the food is shit or great. Like
yeah.
That would be literally the dream, alongside being in a band. So that could be the goals. You might set me on the right path there, dude. So appreciate that, Shane.
When Raptors fucking takes over the world, you can be like, "Yo, I also want a show on Food Network," and they'll be like, "Hell yeah, Simon, take it away."
That is literally opened my eyes to a whole new thing now.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Raptors Kitchen Nightmares.
That'd be perfect. That would be perfect. I would watch that.
Yeah.
Watch that hands down. So for these last couple of questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
6. We're actually going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
That's what I mean when we said we like food.
Yeah, it's like third food question.
Yeah.
So I'd probably like get as many courses as possible to just to delay my sentence a little bit more. I'll be like, is it a bottomless?
Keep it coming.
Yeah, keep it coming. I haven't finished my bottomless like refill drink.
Exactly. Yeah.
You go like 60 years.
Yeah.
So, on a serious note, I'd probably say either a Texan barbecue, like we've just mentioned. On a more personal level, Matt, our drummer in the band, he makes like the best roast dinners. So that would probably be a good shout. I'd get him to cook. He's also a beast, so he might be able to break me out of jail.
Nice.
That'd be perfect.
And how you washing that food down?
Oh yeah, I would probably say, I'm in a quite like a spiced rum kind of mode at the moment. So I'd probably go for a like a Dead Man's Fingers rum.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
Perfect.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Oh, so many. So I would either go to, I always like the look of Essos in Game of Thrones. I felt it's pretty much Croatia and like Spain.
Yeah.
Modeled in. That looks nice. But I'd probably be a sucker for Middle Earth. Lord of the Rings. It just looks really peaceful there.
Nice.
So, well, wherever you choose to go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's kind of a war going on.
If that would be the thing, if I got given that choice and someone was actually going to put it there, I would come up with that stupid vague answer and they would be like, to Mordor you go.
Exactly. Yep.
Like right under Sauron. That would
that'd
literally
be awful. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd go for in the peace times in the Shire. I reckon that'd probably be a good place to go, and that's where we'd open our Raptors Bar and Grill.
There you go.
Hell yeah!
It all works out. So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question.
Ooh. What
is your favorite color?
Favorite color?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like I'm a freelance artist, so I feel like I shouldn't be biased towards any particular. But I'm always drawn in by a hot pink, or like a claret red.
Okay. Ooh, those
good.
are very good.
Yeah. All right.
Good pick.
So as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
So, the album is coming out really, really soon. It's time is flying by. So the 24th of June is going to be Living Without Death's Permission. It's going to be out via Metal Blade Records and Blacklight Media. So yeah, if you want to pre-order it now, or if you want to check it out on that day, hit us up on our socials. Raptors RXPTRS.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you for now. That's been Simon from Raptors, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.